karma-yogena yoginam. Very important words for all of us to understand. Please pay attention for some time. Bring back yourself in this text. How Krishna has been addressed here by Srila Vyasadeva. What is written? Sri-bhagavan uvaca. Yes, Sri-bhagavan uvaca. Again and again, the author of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the one who got it written, Srila Vyasadeva, is mentioning and reminding us the person who is going to speak is not an ordinary person of this world. He is Sri Bhagavan. He is Sri Bhagavan, Supreme Lord. Uvaca. Supreme Lord is going to speak now. So Bhagavad Gita is not spoken by any ordinary person. These are divine words of the Supreme Lord. There is no other scripture than Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which has been spoken by the Supreme Lord himself. The one and only scripture spoken by Supreme Lord is Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Rest all scriptures has been spoken by various other devotees or representative of the Supreme Lord. Although the both intent is same, they want to do the welfare of the conditioned souls like us. But when the Supreme Lord himself comes and presents something, it has a more importance in our life. That he had to come and present this to all of us. So Srila Vyasadeva again and again warns in a subtle way that the person who is going to speak now is not an ordinary person of this world. He is Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Srila Vyasadeva's father was Parashar Rishi. So Parashar Muni in Vishnu Puran has given the definition of what Bhagavan. He says, Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashriya jnana vairagyas chaiva sankhyanam bhaga iti gana. Which means the Supreme Lord is one who has 6 opulences in supreme degree. And what are these 6 opulences? He is saying Aishwaryasya, which means wealth, Viryasya, which means strength, power, Yasha, fame, Shriya, beauty, Jnana, knowledge, Vairagya, renunciation. So these are 6 opulences. If it is found in someone at one time, always and in supreme degree, that person is Supreme God. You will find many wealthy people in this world, but they may not be beautiful, they may not be intelligent, they may have wealth. Somebody may be beautiful, but not maybe intelligent. So someone can have 1 opulence or 2 opulence or 3 opulence and not for the always, all the time, and not in supreme degree. The only one who can have always and in supreme degree is the Supreme Lord. And that is the meaning of Bhagavan. One means the possessor. And the Bhaga means the opulences. The one who possesses the opulences in the highest degree is called Bhagavan. What Srila Vyasadeva calling Krishna here not by his name but by his position. So Lord has name, he's a person, and his name is Krishna. But his position is his supreme God. Asama urdhava. Nobody is above him and nobody is equal to him. That is Vedic literature. And everyone in this world is doing what? We all are running after the opulences only. So all these are 6 opulences which Krishna has, we all are running after till our last breath. We want to become wealthy, we want to be famous, we want to be intelligent, beautiful, powerful. And all these opulences belong to the Supreme Lord. This is why when you run after opulences without Supreme Lord, you may get it by with your hard work, but you won't be able to hold it forever. You can see who can remain beautiful always. Maybe the Miss Universe, Miss World may be beautiful for few years, but after some time when we become old, nobody wants to see us. We can have wealth for some time, but we cannot say we are always the wealthiest person of the world. Similarly, also our intelligence goes down. As our age progresses, our memory reduces, our intelligence reduces. We all are affected by the modes or the law of the material nature. We are being controlled in this material world. We are not the controllers. We are being controlled like puppets. Our controlling, suffering always, ignorance, passion, and goodness. So we all want to be opulent, we all want to have opulences, but the source of opulence is who? Supreme Lord Krishna. This is why it is written sri-bhagavan. So which means if you actually want opulence, where will you get? When you take the shelter of the Lord. This is why the one who is connected to the Supreme Lord is also opulent. Like Srila Prabhupada, the founder of this one movement. He has his home in every city of the world. Can you think of any wealthiest person, either in history or in contemporary time? The one who may have home in every city of the world. So you get the opulence by getting connected with the Supreme Lord. So Arjuna, here Krishna is addressed Bhagavan uvaca. And how Arjuna has been addressed in this verse? By the name nistha, pura, prokta, mayanagha. And what is the meaning of anagha? Anagha means sinless. So Arjuna has been addressed by Krishna as sinless. Nobody is free in this material world from the sins. To some extent, we all get inflicted with sins. So which means while living in this material world, to abstain from the sins is very difficult. You may not be performing physically sins, but mentally we are doing many sinful activities. In our minds, in our thoughts, we are committing so many sins. You cannot control it because these are deep-rooted impressions in our minds which keep coming up. And many times we think, oh, this is me or somebody else. What kind of thoughts I keep getting? How to change myself? How to cleanse my mind? and not get all these obnoxious thoughts. But this is just the opulence of Arjuna, that he being addressed as anagha, sinless. Not any individual, but the Supreme Lord only. So we all are hearing Krishna, because who is speaking this voice? Krishna has spoken. So when you recite it, when you read it, he is purest among pure. And when you come in contact with that Supreme Lord, our tendencies to perform sins also go away. In Bhagavatam, when the description of hellish planet comes, in chapter 5, canto 5 of Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj, after hearing all these hellish planets, there are about 28 variety of hellish planets and different kind of punishment being awarded there. So Parikshit Maharaj, who's hearing from Shukadeva Goswami, he becomes very anxious to see how will the living entity who has entered in hellish planets will ever come out. So Shukadeva Goswami, in response to Parikshit Maharaj's query, says, by performing some karma kanda. Karma kanda means ritualistic things. People go to Ganges, take bath, in expecting that our sins will be removed by taking bath in Ganga. So Parikshit Maharaj raises a very genuine inquiry here. He says, like an elephant goes and takes bath in the river, and when he comes out, he again rolls in the dust. From his trunk, he throws upon again the sand on himself. So Parikshit Maharaj says, is there any use of such bathing? That you go and cleanse yourself and again become dirty. Similarly, we perform some spiritual activities, again sinful activities. What is the benefit of such spiritual activities? That you lit the fire and again pour water. What do you do? So then Shukadeva Goswami tells Parikshit Maharaj, only by rendering devotional service to the Supreme Lord, one can be completely free from tendency to perform sin. One is performing sin and another is tendency to perform sin. You may externally stop performing sins, but the tendency remains. And the moment there is an opportunity to perform sin, again there is an inclination. Let us do it again. No, do it once. So to be anagha or to be sinless, not just abstaining sins externally, but also not having even a tendency or not iota of desire to perform sin is only possible when you get connected to sri-bhagavan. This is why Arjuna was anagha, because he was hearing from sri-bhagavan. That's why he became anagha. So only by the association of the Lord Krishna you can be sinless. one can be completely sinless. Although being sinless doesn't mean it's a platform of devotion. No. It's the beginning of devotion. Maybe when you look at the situation of the world now, even becoming sinless is a very big achievement. Because there is so much sinful activities when we are going on with it. To be sinless is also a very big achievement, but this is not devotional life. Devotional life begins when you are living a sin-free life. At least intentionally you are not committing any sin. Unintentional sins will take place, like you are walking. And some living being comes in your feet and dies. Some earthworm comes, some insect comes, and you have not noticed it, and you walk over and he dies. These are unintentional sins. Like you cut vegetables, then sometimes insects are there, and that also gets cut. You boil it, and you have not noticed it. So these are unintentional sins. At least intentional sins, one should be free of, but not devotional. So, just by becoming sinless, you cannot be the devotee of the Lord. Devotion is beyond being sinless. So, Srila Prabhupada, he heavily emphasized, and whom was he emphasizing this? In 65 onwards, in the Western world, to his American, European disciples. What was he saying? No meat eating, no intoxication, and no illicit sex, no gambling. These are called 4 religious principles. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, it has been described that these are 4 pillars of irreligion. And when you live a life based on either 4 of these or one of these, it is impossible for one to walk on the path of Krishna consciousness, along with doing gross sins. These are 4 kinds of gross sins. And it's based on 4 irreligious principles. So Acharya gave very detailed description of sins and how it works on us. It has been described by one of the stalwart Acharya 500 years ago by Srila Rupa Goswami. He wrote in the scripture called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the nectar of devotion. He said, because avidya, ignorance, we commit sins. And avidya is what? And ignorance is what? When we don't understand who we really are, we are Jivan. Yavat Jivan Sukham Jivan means as long as you live the life of enjoyment. Either you have to get whatever you have to do that. That was his philosophy, not the philosophy of Gita. And actually, you will see in contemporary world, this is the philosophy of the modern world. That best steal, but the life of material enjoyment. So because of the avidya or the ignorance, we perform sin. And when you perform sin, it leaves something with you. The activity of sin may have been performed for a moment, but it leaves something with you which is going to return with you. And what is that? It is a proclivity for the sinful activity. It is like a seed of sin. So the more we perform sin, the seed of sin we keep accumulating with us. So we don't have to struggle with external sinful activities. Our struggle is with the seeds of sins. And this is called in Sanskrit putam. These are seeds of sin. And this remains in our heart. And what this putam does, it becomes bijam. And what bijam becomes, which means now after this, the third step will be you will be forced to perform sin. You won't be able to stop yourself. Even though you may know, like every wine bottle, it is burning written there. You may harm yourself. And these kind of diseases can happen. Every pack of cigarette tobacco, the warning is already printed there. So it doesn't mean that smoking, drinking, they cannot read, they cannot understand. They can very well understand, they can read it, but still why are they unable to leave it? Because they can't stop themselves. It has become their tendency now. This is the effect of performing sin. So what it leaves with us, the baggage, the impressions that goes on life after life. So the tendencies we have brought it with us from the previous lives. Right from childhood, we have this tendency. It is not that we are just learning differently or with the association in the material world, but we have brought these tendencies with us from the previous lives, because this is what we have been doing for many lifetimes. And it becomes so intense that it goes beyond our control, that we are unable to leave it any moment in life. So this is why Prabhupada said at least one should follow in any condition of life these 4 regulative principles, which is no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit. One should be uncompromisingly follow this. And when one uncompromisingly follows this, it will enhance your determination. It will enhance your determination to follow devotional life. The faith is currently wavering. Sometimes we find ourselves very enthusiastic to chant holy name, read Gita, understand Gita, or we want to do something, we want to change our life. But the next day, we don't have that inspiration now. So the determination to consistently follow will come if you rigidly follow these 4 regulative principles, uncompromising. Determination will increase. Because why? When you stay from simple activities, now you are qualified to perform devotional activities. That is a primary qualification. Srila Prabhupada said that if you cannot abstain from these simple activities, then there is a difference between an animal and a human being. Such person is actually looks like human, but he is not human. He cannot be a human. And devotional practice can be done by human. So we have to platform to become human. And then we can talk about the devotion or the spiritual life. So the biggest challenge of the modern day world is, this is the biggest challenge. Now if you read Gita, the way Krishna explaining and the other asking, these are not such struggles which we face, which we practitioners face. He is not facing such struggles because he was qualified candidate to practice devotional life. So Krishna addressing Arjuna, anagha, which is a word that if you connect yourself, you will also get this qualification. And that's where the path of Krishna consciousness will begin for all of us. Another lesson in this text given is there is unity in diversity in our scriptures. Because in this text, like in the chapter 2, we have read the analogy given by Krishna. In the villages, there are several ponds, several wells, different purposes. For washing clothes, there is a different well. For the drinking water, there is a different well. But Krishna says in second chapter, there may be various ponds or there may be various wells, but if there is a river, it can fulfill the need of all the ponds and all the wells. Similarly, here in this verse also, Krishna is saying that if you, like Krishna saying, some try to understand by empirical, philosophical speculation and others by devotional service. There are different classes of men. There are different people. Because Supreme Lord gives us complete freedom. But he emphasizes on devotional service to him. We are going to text 4. Please repeat. Na karma neshkarmayam purusho ashnute nacha sanyasanadiva siddhim samadhim gacchati. So what was Arjuna's desire? He wanted to leave the battlefield. He wanted to take the retirement, being a warrior. And he suggested Krishna that he would like to live like a renunciate, a sannyasi. He would like to leave everything and live in a forest, a very simple life. So Arjuna thinking to retire from this war or always take retirement. See, when there is a problem in our lives, there is a spontaneous reaction. And the spontaneous reaction, we want to run from the problem. We don't want to face the problem, but we want to run from the problem. And we think, let someone go to hell, but let me save myself. No matter what may happen. Here, Arjuna had the similar kind of thoughts he is presenting. Because how this chapter came in existence. This chapter came in existence because of the doubts of Arjuna. He wanted to abstain from the war. But Krishna in this verse is mentioning to Arjuna that you may be saved from the war by not fighting it, but you will be not able to abstain from the tendency to perform karma. We cannot be inactive for a single moment. Soul by nature is very active. And we always need some activity. And Arjuna, Krishna saying, will be able to abstain from the work because there are reactions going with us of our previous actions. So Krishna in this verse saying, Nacha sannyasa na deva siddhim samadhi gacchati. Just by mere renunciation alone, one cannot attain perfection. Just by renouncing the action, you cannot attain perfection. You have to change that, not renounce the action, but renounce the result of the action. That is the proposal of the karma-yoga. That you renounce the result of the action, not the action itself, which was the Arjuna's proposal here. So what Krishna is saying is that if you from the responsibility, running from the responsibility will attract another reaction to you. Because we all are duty bound. As per our varna, as per our ashrama, we all are supposed to be doing some duty. Now, running from the responsibility, you get the karmic reaction. So, what Arjuna wanted is, he wanted not to perform any sin. His idea was, if I kill Drona, my spiritual teacher, if I kill Bhishma, my great-grandfather, this will bring this sin upon me. So let me run away from the battlefield, not to fight there, so I won't get the karmic reaction of killing my elders. But what Krishna is saying, a very revolutionary thought what Krishna says, oh Arjuna, you want to run away from responsibility, you are in a warrior, and this is a war to establish religion. If you want to run away from responsibility, you will still get the karmic reaction. Now, what? How will you run away from the reaction of your karma? Now, see, try to understand, give a deep thought on this point. It can change our life. Why the problem comes in our life? Nobody can say in this world that he has no problem. Whoever has taken a material birth in this material world, he has some problem or other. Maybe the form of the problem for me is a different, and the form of problem for you will be different. But problems are there. Srila Prabhuji had requested to meet Indira Gandhi, though she was Prime Minister. So when Srila Prabhupada visited her on a time she had given, she said, Swamiji, people want to remove me and I want to slogans and I cannot peacefully speak through. Let me say just a few seconds what actually after getting what you want in your life, that this will give you happiness in you. You'll have a different form of problem that time, which means nobody can be problem free in now. Why problem comes in our life? So the law of karma, which Bhagavad Gita explains, if you have sown the seed of neem, will you get the mango fruit? How is that possible? If you have sown the seed of the neem, you cannot get the mango fruit. It is going to be the bitter tree. The fruit will be bitter. The problems we find is a bitter. Why we have sown such seeds in this life or in the previous lifetimes. And they come in form of several problems, challenges of our life. Maybe insults, legal battles, ugly body, deficiencies in form of anything are all reactions of our karmic actions. So now when the problem comes in our life, our reaction, we want to run away from the problem. Now you may run away with the problem, but can you run away from the reactions of your karma? You may say, I'm living in Delhi and I am getting this problem. Let me change my place of living. I shift myself to Mumbai. Now the karma reaction will come there. They will change you there. You shift yourself from India, you settle in another country, karma reaction will come there too. Now run away from the people. They maybe superiors, maybe our colleagues. We run away from the people. This person got a problem. This person got a problem. You may run people, but how will you run away from the reactions of your karma? Those people are the medium to deliver reactions to us. They are not bad people. We may brand them bad, but not bad people. We made a medium to deliver the reactions of our karma. Now, if currently somebody, person A, Y, B is a medium of my karma, and you run from that person, you leave that person, you may do that, you have to try to do that. But now the reactions will make somebody else medium to your life. How long you can run? And till what extent you can go on changing the external world. It's endless. You may be successful in this life, next life, next to next life. Life is eternal. It will continue to come. So why not face it? When you get the tough people in your life, when you get the people whom you cannot adjust, why not face them? Why to run away from them? Why not tolerate them? Because they are our karma reactions. They are our karma reactions. So why not tolerate them? Because we don't have this understanding. Like somebody throws stone upon you, will you fight with the stone upon you? With whom will you fight? Stone? Which person? One person? Person has betrayed you. It is the stone. So why don't you fight with the stone? Because stone is a medium only. Similarly, if a person is giving us pain, that person is medium. Who's using that person to give us pain? Our own karmas. Our own karmas are used. If we just understand this, our whole life can change. The way we do the world, our perspectives, dealing with the people, whole life can change. To absorb this, you require the wealth of punya. With the wealth of punya, it may look a very good intellectual idea, but you won't be able to follow it. This is why we were saying, without becoming sinless, you cannot follow devotional life. So the problem is, we want to go to the heaven, but we don't want to die. That is our problem. We want to get the benefits of the spiritual life, but we don't want to die materially. We want our material life to also go and we should prosper in spiritual life too. Again, various definitions what prosperity means here, but the way we want to get this through to you means the spiritual well-being. If you get that, material well-being will automatically follow you. You don't have to worry about well-being. If you concentrate on your spiritual well-being. So Krishna point blank telling you, not by merely telling from what can one achieve freedom from reaction. You want to abstain from the what, but how do you abstain from the reactions of your karma? You have to face it. See, sometimes the problem comes and we give no response to it. And when you don't give a response, you get into build trust. You get into trust. Like when Dushasana was disrobing Draupadi in that assembly hall. When Dushasana was disrobing Draupadi, Bhishma, Drona did give no response. It's all better took place because of it. Had they come out, rescued Draupadi, against Dushasana, this war could have been avoided. So there was no response. They abstained from the responsibility. It was their responsibility. They were elders. And they ran away from the responsibility of the elder. Now just see what happened. They both had to die because of running away from the responsibility. So they thought, no, we want a win-win. We cannot make God happy, neither we can see God happy, but we are currently serving God's throne, so let us stay quiet. Because King Vichitra approving it. So not to go against the king, but Shastra gives the complete right. If the king does something wrong, it is the minister's duty to make and explain what is wrong and right. Vedic culture is not a culture of blind faith. It is complete logical explanation. And everybody is accountable here. It is not a dictatorship. It is not an autocracy. Every individual is accountable. And the Bhishma Drona, all of them are people, and they will not fall when such great sin was happening. And they both had to die. Run from the responsibility. Similarly, another example we can see. 5-year-old child Dhruv Maharaj, prokta, is named after him. Lord gave the prokta to whom? Dhruv Maharaj. And that 5-year-old boy went to his father, and his father named him Uttanpa, King Uttanpa. And he saw Dhruva, Uttam, his stepbrother, was sitting on lap of his own father, lap Uttanpa, and Dhruva also had a desire to sit in lap of Uttanpa. And the moment he is trying to climb to the lap of his own father, the stepmother comes forward and her name was Suruchi. She says, "Oh, no, this lap is not meant for you. If you have to sit, then you have to take birth from my womb. Which means you die now and take the rebirth from my womb." What she's saying, then we can allow you. Why? Because then you will be my ego, mine. It is our ego. Like the Dhritarashtra had the problem with Vichitra. So Dhruva became very appearance, and what he saw doing partiality, but his own father also not helping him. That was mother was mother, but father was. And anything and later, Uttanpal had to get into a bigger trouble. A bigger trouble because of running away from the responsibility. Another example we say, see in Srimad Bhagavatam only, there was a the name of Shamik Rishi, and he was in trance meditating. That time the Emperor Parikshit Maharaj walks in and he was thirsty, wanted to drink some water, and he was in a forest and he sees Shamik Rishi is not acknowledging the presence of Parikshit Maharaj. He's busy in his meditation. And Parikshit Maharaj in anger sees a dead snake, lifts from his bow and puts in the neck of Shamik Rishi and leaves that place. And Shamik Rishi does not even come to know what has happened. His son comes, Shringi, a small Brahmana. He sees there is a dead snake has been put around the neck of his own father, and Shringi says, "Whoever has done this will die in 7 days." Without knowing who has done it. And for a small mistake, he gives a very great punishment. Whoever has done this, let the person die in 7 days. So he misused the power Brahmana had those days. He misused the power Brahmana had, and now it was the duty of the Shamik Rishi to intervene and stop his son or correct his son, but he did not. He ran away from the responsibility. A greater problem came. All the Brahmana race fell down. They lost their powers of the words. The Brahmana was so powerful, whatever they said, it happened. But they lost it because of running from responsibility. Running away from the responsibility. Such grave reactions of not doing our duties. And Arjuna is also trying to convince Krishna, "Oh Krishna, let me be abstained from this war." And Krishna, like a friend, like a well-wisher, is holding Arjuna for not committing such another mistake. Not committing another mistake. So, This is the definition of the in our life. So, the common question is when you practice spirituality, you may run from responsibility. Now, just read yourself. Is Krishna allowing Arjuna to run away from responsibility? He did not allow till the last moment. And he made Arjuna fight. What it shows to us that if you practice Gita, means you become a perfect person. It is going to add perfection in our life. So the common misconception, it is for the people who want to run away from responsibility, escapists. But escapists are those who are not following this. People are escapists, not the one who are following it. They are the one running away because Krishna has spoken this for all the humans. And if we don't follow this, we are real escapists. Running away, and you cannot change. You cannot change the laws of the nature. We are controlled and we are forced to follow it, whether you like it or not. So this is the way the material world is, but the solace is that the Supreme Lord has given this message, and we are living in the land of India where we have some piety, so that we can follow this in our life and make our life perfect. So in all conditions of life, we should chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and follow four regulatory principles which we discussed today. In case you can do these two things, the rest will start falling in your lap. So I will end here today's discussion here. In case there are any questions, you can feel free to ask now. Yes, please. Do we have a microphone for the asking questions? Please go first. Don't waste time.
You mentioned that running from responsibility is not a significant. For me, responsibilities and duties are not here as a clause. As in, I mean, what exactly could be a duty, and sometimes I feel as a duty, I'm doing sometimes I'm doing a completely wasted of time. For example, like getting a wedding of a neighbor, it's a waste of time or it's a gift for me. I mean, my in-laws expect me to getting the wedding, but then I think I mean, what you got.
It may differ from individual to individual, but in my understanding, what is bare minimum required to maintain your material existence is our duty. So one should not try to expand it, because the time is very short in our life. We may have spent 50% of our life on an average when we are trying to understand these subject matters. So the remaining time, how much we are going to live, we don't know. So we should try to save as much as time which is possible, and some things may be compulsion for ourselves, like your role in your family and the expectations of the other family members from you. So do it like as a needful only. Just doing a needful. Like, have you seen a kabaddi match? When the kabaddi players, how do they play? No, they enter in the opposition team and they have to touch somebody. This is how this game goes on. And how long they spend the time with the other team, just doing the needful and running back. So this is how our material dealing should be. So touching it and running back. And the another point, understanding of mind in this case or in such kind of cases is, when we develop the loving devotion to the Supreme Lord, Krishna will make you intelligent to handle such situations. He says, 10th chapter Gita, Dadami Buddhi Yogam, I will give you the intelligence. Enamam Upyanti te, how to come back to me. So we all have some karmic reactions. This is why we have been put into certain situation of life. Or certain people around us has been sent for our purification. So deal like this. Any other clarification? Yes, from the second row.
Hi, Krishna.
You can sit and ask.
Same kind of related question that I just want to know, kids means still how much time parents responsibility? Means still then we educated them this much, or after that just we leave them, okay, just take your decision by your own, or like choosing life partner, choosing career. But all the time parents stress how what kind of life partner they want to choose, profession they are going to choose. They're always worried about it. And it becomes whatever is the little difficult in their life. So just express, oh, that this happens to my son or your my other family. It's okay that this happens. So just leave them to them only, leave all these whatever problem they are having. So just leave them to their own. So they can handle it by their own.
See, the parents always have attachment to the children, no matter how big they become, they will always have some attachment. And I am not saying that we should disobey them, disrespect them. Shastra says we should not even give a verbal fight to our elders. But at the same time, when they themselves are in illusion, please don't mind. When they themselves are spiritually blind, and when they themselves don't know the purpose of life, they will engage us in the activity which they are engaged in. You have to draw a line. Now this is very tricky. Not offending themselves also, and not deviating from the purpose of life also. You have asked this question in a material context, but in a spiritual context also, many times, when the children start becoming the devotees of the Lord, parents become insecure. They think they will leave us. And we have invested so much in them. And when the time has come to give the return, they are leaving us. There is a selfishness in the relation. If the parents are real well-wishers, they will allow a child to do what is good for that child. And especially when the child's son or daughter is becoming a devotee of the Lord, nobody should stop such. This is a blessing upon the whole family itself. If somebody is taking interest in the devotional life. Bhagavatam very clearly says, Janani-na-satyat. You don't give birth if you cannot show the path back to Godhead to your dependent. So we don't have to offend them, neither we have to hurt them. And if it is being asked for a spiritual context, we have to remain fixed on that path. But I ask in a material context about your own ignorance, this cannot be a general thing. You have to be very specific. What they are resisting, why they are holding, for what reason, it has to be very specific. We cannot answer it in a general way that you just completely ignore them. Sometimes they may be wise also, they have experience of life also. And in our young age, we have not seen the world. Sometimes with their wisdom, they are protecting us also. So I cannot be I mean, generic in this, you have to be very specific. But as far as spiritual context is concerned, I go to point blank. Neither we have to disrespect them, nor we have to obey them.
Kids are not obeying as parents, so just I think, okay, if I as a parent or if my son and daughter is not obeying me, okay, just do whatever you want to do, whatever karma you have, so you'll get according to it. So why I take so much stress? Why not doing this? Why not doing that? If he's not listening, he or she's not
Yes.
listening to me for so many times, so
Absolutely right.
please okay, do.
Absolutely right. Sometimes you teach people by experience also. Sometimes when people don't hear, they will learn from the experience.
Exactly. So
When their hands are burned, they will not enter in fire again. And this is the way to give teaching also. Like Krishna also teaching like this. He has spoken Gita 5,000 years ago. Still we are not following it. And when our hands get burned, we become serious. I should follow. Experiential learning. That leaves very strong impact. Yes, please, from there, this row.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So I'm into a business. So I got some debt on me because of my business, right? So I already tried to get money from my friends and the family, but it couldn't work. So I know my wife and my dad have some money in which they can help me out, and I'm not getting the courage to help them because if the day I will ask them money, they will be keep saying that leave the business and start working with us.
What is the question? You share comment or?
So I'm not getting the courage to ask my wife and father to get rid of some debt which I bought
To
from
give you loan.
kind of.
Pray to Krishna. He'll bless you with the courage to face them. Do you chant Hare Krishna Maha
So that is one of the reason I came here today.
Okay, so do you chant or no? I didn't understand.
Yeah, so before I eat, that's 1 hour I give to Lord.
1 hour.
Yeah.
Chant on beats,
Yeah, I play it on YouTube.
play on YouTube and hear.
Yeah,
Okay. The Shastra doesn't talk about YouTube hearing. Shastra says you lift the beat and chant the holy name yourself. That is the process. There is nothing harm in hearing in YouTube also. You can keep on hearing holy name. But when you chant yourself, that purifies you more. So some amount of time, maybe 1 round 108 times, or 2 rounds, 4 rounds, fix some limit every day, minimum. That you will do yourself on beats and see the changes coming in your life. And keep coming to hear this wisdom from Gita. This knowledge will also immensely help you from inside. Somebody from the back row. Yeah. 3 hands.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, my question is with regards to karma-yoga and duties. So I recently started working out a law firm. So considering it's a law firm, I have to work beyond my capability. So I'm working hard no matter how much I try. And before I start working, to dedicate whatever I'm going to work to Krishna. But it often happens that I attach myself to the record. So even though I work so hard, and if the result is not as of how I desire it to be, I often get disappointed and I get into the stress and anxiety. So how do I get rid of that desire of the fruitive result?
Good question. Do you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? How many rounds? 1 round. It's a good beginning, but not the end. So I'll suggest that you should increase your rounds 1. And also the understanding of Gita too. And also participating in such sessions will help you immensely. See, the attachments are very deep rooted in our hearts. It's very deep rooted. And it is not that easy that you can become desire free or you can serve selflessly without any expectations. We all are getting motivation two way only. One is we work for the fruits of our actions, and that gives us motivation to work for. And another is in love, selflessly. So what Gita teaching is you love Krishna and then in love you selflessly work for the Supreme Lord. Like Srila Prabhupada, he was 70 years old. And that is the age people are retired by that time. And he started his career in that age. He went to the West with just $7. And those days conversion was 35 rupees, Indian rupees of $7 in 1965. And Srila Prabhupada, 24 hours practically serving Krishna round the globe. He was serving Krishna and was not asking any profit for himself. He wrote so many books, about 80 spiritual books, did not seek any royalty for those books. Even he created this whole ISKCON, did not give any share to his own family. He had 3 daughters, 2 sons. Did not give any share to his family, neither to himself. Established the trust and gave all right to that trust. So how come he serves so selflessly, working so hard, and we are working very little and we have so many expectations? Because he was in love with Krishna. When you love God, then you can work selflessly. But as long as there is a contamination in heart, there will be always selfish motives. So my suggestion is go on increasing your devotion. And along with that, Garbha Samhita gives a very practical way. 10% of our income should be donated to the Lord for his service. Even you go to the Sikhism, Gurdwara says, Dashansh. You go to Christianity, teaching, Garbha Samhita, 10% of your income. Same principle. So when you give the hard-earned money to the Lord, this also brings the piety in you. That will attract the piety, and this piety will gradually uplift your consciousness. From an attached, we say sakama, from an attached stage to nishkama, selfless stage. And this will happen gradually. So go on increasing. Hare Krishna. Yes, come there.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. You have very well said that to be devotional, we need to be human first. Then my question is, who are humans and what are the characteristics that will help us to be devotional?
Shastra says, Ahar nidra bhaya maithunam cha samane etat pashubhi samana dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharme nahina pashubhi samana. What it means is dharme nahina pashubhi samana. If somebody's life goal is ahar, eating, nidra, sleeping, bhaya, defending, maithunam, mating, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. If this is the only goal of life, such person is dvi-vidha pushu, two-legged animal, suited, booted, polished animal. But what will make somebody human being? Dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesh. When you follow the religion, it is only meant for the human beings. And humans are only meant for the liberation. Rest, all we do is to support the path of self-realization. But this is unfortunate state. For the purpose we human have been created, there is no education for it. There is no education, no awareness, no encouragement. And for the purpose which is just a secondary supporting this body, preservation of the body, it has taken a lead role. And we just get busy in the rat race. Thank you. Yes. Somebody else from the behind hand. Last one.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, regularly come to ISKCON, and oftentimes my mother called me when I'm here only, and I tell her, and she had told this to many relatives and stuff. And they often say that she should stop me from doing it because you know how things happen. So the only thing she asked me right now is a family from the family, that I should not be coming here. So I'm asking, what should I do, or how should I address? Because I feel like going on spiritually is typically falling alone. Only there errors. So what should I do and how should I?
What's your name?
Hare.
See, Harshji, you can only convince somebody to the extent you are convinced. So my request is you increase your conviction first. And then you will be able to convince others. And second thing here is, this is the path of absolute truth. And to get connected to the absolute truth, even if you have to take shelter of lie, that is allowed.
And that's what I want to tell.
That is not considered lie. Shastra says the effect of lie will make it qualify as lie or truth. If the effect of lie is truth, it is not lie. If the effect of truth is lie, then it is not truth. So you are walking on a path of absolute truth. Try to increase your conviction. Krishna can transform anyone for you. He will see your sincerity first. When we ourselves are not sincere enough, why should Krishna intervene in our life? Isn't it?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
There is some comment. Please bring mic here. Haribol. Do you have another cordless mic?
Hare Krishna. So, as you said that actually there's so much reality which we must know, but we will only know when we live this life, when the real knowledge will be revealed, and then we will be helped actually. Right now we are living in a very puzzle life. The parents have insecurities for us because